GTM Kit is a breath of fresh air. It is yet another tool that I'm comparing with GTM4WP to see if it is a viable alternative to it. GTM4WP has been around for years and it hasn't changed much. GTM Kit is a much newer product, which you can see in many areas of the plugin. However, is it a better one? Is it a worse one than GTM4WP? Well, this is something that we are going to find out in this video. First, I'll tell you what the user interface is like, if it's actually easy to use or difficult. Then we'll go through its features. Finally, we'll do some tests, especially with WooCommerce. We'll see how it plays with WooCommerce events. And finally, I'll give you my verdict. So, without further ado, let's start. Settings panel of GTM Kit is actually pretty easy to use. It's nicely laid out. However, there are two things that are confusing for me. So first and most important thing is that when you activate the plugin for the first time, you are greeted with an onboarding message, onboarding pop-up. However, if you close this onboarding pop-up, there is no way to return it, or at least I haven't found a way to enable it again, to show it again. Now, what's wrong about it? Well, there is one thing that this onboarding pop-up has that is not anywhere here in the settings. Is the option to import data from GTM4WP. So if you've been using GTM4WP before and you want to switch to GTM Kit, you just can't close that pop-up. Apart from that, the layout is really nice and clean. All the things are easy to find. There is just one tiny confusing thing is there are actually two menus. There is one on the left and there is one on the top. They are not identical. So if you want to go to integrations, yes, this top menu will change. Apart from that, everything is great, and if you know where to click in those two menus, you will be good to go. And now let's take a look at the features that the free version of GTM Kit gives us, and there are quite a lot of them. So first, we can of course install GTM on our website, and we can do it in two ways. We can install the web container or the server container, which is a good thing. So here, from what I see, Stape is supported. I don't know about the standard Google Cloud Service servers. However, it's, well, in my opinion, Stape's service is better, it's cheaper, it's easier to use. Apart from that, we can push to the data layer some information about the pages that are visited on the website, like post type, page type, categories, tags, etc. We can track user information or push to the data layer some user information. We also have here in the integration sections, we can push to the data layer some WooCommerce actions like purchases, add to carts, etc. And we can tweak how this data is pushed, or actually what it looks like whether we want to track product IDs or use stock keeping units instead of IDs. This is very handy if you generate product feeds and push them later to Merchant Center or Facebook business account. Next, we have in the general section here consent mode settings, which are very handy if you are using a content management platform that shows you this banner that blocks certain cookies on your website or certain scripts. So here you can make sure that they work correctly with your GTM setup, with all the tools that are loaded through GTM. So that's nice. And finally, we have some GTM templates that are easily accessible. You can download them, upload them to GTM, and you will automatically start importing all the variables pushed by GTM Kit into the GTM, so they will be recognized with no problems, which is a nice thing to have. It just makes things easier. What I don't particularly like is that what I've shown you is actually pretty much everything. You don't have any specific event tracking. Like for example, in the Pixel Your Site or in GTM4WP, you had an option to track form submissions, you had an option to track scrolls and many other events, especially in Pixel Your Site. However, you may ask yourself, okay, but I don't need that. I can already do it in GTM itself. So what are they for? Well, the benefit of using them in tools like in plugins like that is that they are more specialized. They don't, for example, with form tracking, they don't track every single form on the website that you need to then filter these events, etc. You can specifically say, okay, so I want this specific form to be tracked, and that's it. Yes, so it just makes some things easier. Okay, and now let's take a look at GTM Kit on a live website. So here I have it already running. I have a Google Tag Assistant here on the left, and let's see what information we have that is pushed to the data layer by GTM Kit. Let's go to messages, and here we have some basic information about the page. So everything that we wanted, everything that we set up in the settings before. So we have post type information, page type, post title, page ID, post date, etc. So all the basics here. And now let's take a look at our store. And so in the store we have a view item list event where we have data about all the small product teasers that we have here, and with all the information that is necessary. So we have product ID, in this case stock keeping unit, item name, currency, price. All the basics are here. When we add a product to cart, we also have this message here, event with product details, which is very good. Next, when we go to a variable product, we will actually have one view item event here, but the moment we switch a variant, we'll have another one, which is also very nice. This is everything that we want to keep track of variants. And when we go to a grouped product, and remember here that both GTM4WP and Pixel Your Site had problems with grouped products. Now we make our test here. Let's add to basket. And here, for the first time, we have correct information. So we have information about the right quantity and right products. We don't have 3 products added to the cart, but only 2. This is what the tool reports. Now let's also see if removing products from the cart work. So let's click this button here, and remove from cart was triggered. Lovely. And when we go to the cart, what will happen if we click plus here? Add to cart, exactly what we want. And minus, remove from cart. Lovely. And click here, remove from cart. Perfect. When we go to the checkout, okay, when we go to checkout, we have begin checkout event with all the information that we need. And now let's place order. Okay, and here with the purchase event, we have not only information on the products that we purchased, but also information that will be useful in enabling or to enable advanced or enhanced conversions, if I'm not mistaken. This is what it's called in tools like Metapixel or Google Analytics. So here we have information on hashed information on user's email address and physical address that we can send to those tracking platforms. And so it looks like the most solid product for WooCommerce tracking that I've tested so far. It's time for the final verdict. In my personal opinion, GTM Kit is a very solid alternative to GTM4WP. And if you are a WooCommerce user, if your website is using WooCommerce, then it is an even better option because it doesn't have the bugs that both GTM4WP and Pixel Your Site ahead when it comes to WooCommerce. User interface is nice and slim, although with one issue that I had, and the number of features is okay. There are not too many of them, there are not too little, and however, there are still some other tools, some other alternatives to GTM4WP that I will be reviewing in the future. If you can't wait to learn what they are and how they compare to GTM4WP, I recommend you go to my website. There is a link in the description where I actually tell you more about these plugins and give you my final recommendations at the end of the article. And so this sums up this video. Thank you very much and have a great day.